Morning, ladies. So this might sound a little weird, but this morning I cut my finger and I might have to just kind of scoot out of here. But anyway, it's all good. It's all good. But we're going to pledge that my right hand is what's moving. So if you're joining in the pledge to the flag, they'll do it left-handed. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. You may be seated. Before we begin, is there like just get like paper towel or something? I have just whatever. Yeah, tissue or paper towel if there's something in the bathroom. I have one, but it's not doing its job. Thank you. Yeah, doctor. So here's a part of what I wanted to say. I'm so glad to see that you're doing something different. And Jim Craft might want me to take that duct tape and put it in my mouth. But thank you for you. That's good. Yeah, yeah. We'll move you. In all seriousness, and I know when I first walked in this morning, I was dumbfounded to see that people kind of took my advice and did birdery a little bit different. People were spread out at some different tables. And I hope for those of you that did that, you enjoyed the new company that you sat and talked with. So let's continue with that mindset. We don't have to always be at different tables every week, but it is good to mix it up and do something that's a little bit different. I even saw that Maury left strawberries back in the fruit jar. So, and for those of you that come in a little bit later and you're always like, why aren't there any strawberries in our fruit? It's because Maury always takes them. But see, he did Rotary different this morning and he left some strawberries. So thank you, Maury, for doing that. Anyway, now I lost my place and I'm not sure where we're at, but we've gotten through our pledge. I'm going to ask if Bob and Friedel would want to introduce any of our guests and visiting Rotarians.
Thank you, Greg. We have two guests this morning from Safety Town. Lydia Eifert, please stand and remain standing until Greg greets you, and Jane Hoffman.
Thank you, Jean and Lydia. We look forward to hearing about our Safety Town program. Let's all give them a nice warm welcome to your piece. You may be seated. Who's going to do the honors of our 50-50 drawing? One of the ladies, or maybe both. What's that mean? If one picks one out and somebody's not happy with it, they get to throw it back in, the other one picks the other one? Three numbers are 4, 5, 9. 4, 5, 9. Friedel.
Not me. It's his ticket.
It's Bob's ticket. You know, we've all been happy to have Bob and Friedel back here, but you know, some things never change. Friedel is just like she's like a magnet to that winning ticket all the time. Congratulations, Friedel.
Play anymore. I promised 4 years ago I will never play again. I don't. It's Bob's ticket. I give my $5 to the lady who serves us instead.
Well, I'll tell you what, Bob, you're a lucky guy. You're a lucky guy. So, do we have any happy dollars? Joanne. Hold on.
Oh, thank you. Steve and I are going to be celebrating our 50th anniversary. We got married when we were babies. But anyhow, I feel like I've been celebrating because we just got home from a family trip. I just got home last night or yesterday, I forget. But anyhow, so it's been wonderful, and finally on Saturday, it is the day. So
Congratulations, Joanne. Anyone else? Karen?
So I'm probably not going to be here next week, and that's the reason for today's Happy Dollar. Cade, my grandson, will be 1 year old next Tuesday.
Great. Just give it. Friedel has some happy dollars. Do you want to just say? Do
Many happy dollars.
you want to say something?
We have 10 happy dollars for Todd's son Chase, who is back from overseas deployment and is just winding down and just becoming a little sort of normal again. But because before that, he was all hyped up and now he's a family member. So that's $10 for him. That's $5, like always, for my darling Bob, because he's the greatest present that I've ever had. And then we have $5 for you doing an excellent job. Thank you.
Thank
No,
you. You give
I
it
give it to
to,
him.
you give it to Diane. Yep, Bob, or anyone else? Excellent. Thanks for sharing everything. I think, like I said before, it's great to hear some of the personal notes that are taking place, and I think our members enjoy that. So thanks for sharing that information. Do we have, I know we have some announcements. I don't know who wants to go first. Jim Norton, you want to go first?
Morning, York East. Just a reminder, next Tuesday is our daily bread and next Wednesday is Catholic Harvest. We're looking good on Wednesday on Catholic Harvest, but we could use a couple more people on Tuesday. I'll send out a reminder later this week, assuming I can remember how I send out the first one, but I'll send out a reminder and hopefully a couple more people can jump on board on Tuesday. Thank you.
Thanks, Jim. Anyone else? Karen, you look like you're ready to jump. Okay. Oh, Bob's gonna take your.
Yeah. Next week, my wife is making a presentation. I'm sure that some of you over the past 20 or 30 years have seen a movie called Sliding Doors. And her presentation next week is going to riff on that Sliding Doors, her experience in a Rotary with the things that have happened, just happened. So please think about coming next week.
Thanks, Bob. And as a follow-up, Riedel's been begging me for the last 3-4 weeks to get a little more time in. So she has, I think, quite a lengthy presentation that she'd like to make. So next week, we'll start our meeting a little bit early, or at least our meeting part a little bit early. So just be aware of that we'll get things rolling a little bit earlier. Now, Karen, do you want to go?
Thank you. All right. Good morning, York East. A little update on the golf outing, which is 56 days, 8 weeks, and 1 month, 25 days from today's date. We still need more golfers. We can still use gifts for raffle baskets and things of that nature. And we can always use volunteers the day of the event. So please reach out to me. Once it gets closer to September 17th, we will also need a few people to run around and pick up some of the items for the raffle. So that's where we are. If you have any questions, please let me know. And hope to see everybody out there in one way or another. You don't have to be a golfer to attend the event.
Excellent. Thanks, Karen. Any other announcements? Elizabeth, you want to do something on the picnic?
Yeah. Number 14.
Do you want this? You're used to this. You want this?
Get out the way. So I did send out a formal event invite from Club Runner. And you don't have to respond to it that way. You can just let me know. And, you know, I hope we have a big crowd there. It should be a beautiful day. And I'll have Wolf get all the shrubs trimmed up and the trees looking good. And
And it sounds like there's potential that our district governor may attend. Elizabeth sent an invite to him as well. And he said it sounded like his calendar might be free and I think he'll probably plan to attend. And speaking of our district governor, his presentation is going to be, I think, October the 14th. I need to kind of confirm that, but just so everybody knows that that's been lined up and coordinated. It is, I think, in October 14th, I believe, is a Tuesday. And I think that's the date that he'll be here making his presentation to our club. So anyone else? Any other announcements? Okay, very good. If not, I guess I'm introducing our speakers this morning. And I didn't ask them for any kind of information or anything else, but I'll kind of put it this way. Most of you are aware that our club helps out with Safety Town each summer. And, you know, we're here and Safety Town takes place at St. Joe's. And most of us don't really have an idea of what happens at Safety Town. And I think we had a presentation a couple of years ago. Jane was in and shared some information with us. But we kind of thought, you know what, since our club helps to coordinate all that, we should have our coordinators of the program come in and actually share what it is that happens at Safety Town. So this morning we have Jane and Lydia, and this is kind of an interesting thing, but Jane has been the coordinator for a lot of years. We are going to find out how long Jane has been the coordinator for Safety Town, but it's been way longer than what our club's been involved with the program. But Jane's gotten to a point where she's ready to retire from that. So this summer was Jane's last hurrah as our coordinator for Safety Town. And when she first announced this, I think we were kind of like, oh, geez, what do we do now? Because Jane's been a part of Safety Town and coordinating things for so many years. She said, but I have a young lady who I would like to see assume the role of coordinator. And that young lady is Lydia. So both Lydia and Jane are here. And this year they kind of co-coordinated the event, but next year, Lydia is going to be the one that's coordinating everything. And I'll let the two of them kind of share whatever additional information they want as far as maybe what their background is, how they actually got started with Safety Town, and just what it is that they do. So I'm going to ask if both Jane and Lydia or whoever's wanting to come up and kind of start things off, feel free. The floor is yours. There you go.
All right, well, good morning. Good morning from Safety Town. First and foremost, I just want to thank the Rotary and specifically Safety Town Committee for always being supportive, generous, and present in our program. So I personally want to thank you all for that. And today we just want to give you a little more history, a little bit about each of us, a little bit about the program so that we can keep this valuable program moving forward. My name is Jane Hoffman. I'm a proud Blue Jay graduate of E-Town College. I graduated with a bachelor's degree in elementary education, but for the past 35.6 years as of 2023, I worked as a paraprofessional with special education, and my final 2 years were with emotional support. I retired from there last year, continued on with Safety Town, I have been involved with the program either by way of being an assistant, a teacher, a director for the past 42 summers, which is odd since I'm only 39. Crazy. I retired, but never, if you know me, I like to keep busy. So I did take a part-time job. I do now work as a part-time receptionist at an emergency vet. So trying to keep myself busy. I'll let Lydia introduce herself, then we'll tell you a little bit about the program.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Lydia Eifert. I am a senior at Millersville University. I'm currently studying early childhood education. I'm going into my year of student teaching, so hopefully I survived that. We'll see. I'm also the president of the Honors College at Millersville, so that's been a really exciting experience. At Safety Town, I have held volunteer, assistant teacher, and co-director positions since the age of 14 when Jane introduced me to the program. I even attended Safety Town as a child, which you can see in my little picture up there. I look so tiny. It took me a little while to find myself in the picture, I have to be honest. In addition to Safety Town, I currently work as an assistant group supervisor at Envisions Enterprises, which is a before and after school program in Manheim Township School District.
All right, who we are. I'll let you take a moment to read this. While you're reading it, though, essentially our program is something that's designed for little ones ages 3 to 7 to introduce them to a variety of safety issues, just to empower them to feel a little more safe and not be so fearful in different situations. All right, so our history. Safety Town itself began in the early 70s. They were at the York Mall. Initially, the sponsor was the Pilot Club of York. They maintained the program with their sponsorship up until Rotary in about 2013. There was a year that the year two clubs merged and helped. And then Rotary has been present since then. We held our program initially at East York Elementary School, and they hosted that till about 2010. We did a little moving around a couple different schools in the area until we found our current home base at St. Joe's Elementary School, which we are so grateful for. It's a building that's perfectly designed for the little ones, nice grassy areas, a lot of open space, and yet very safe. So we appreciate that. You can see at the peak of the program, we would see approximately 400 kids per summer. That number has decreased a bit. We're working on that. COVID did not help. So we'll see how we move forward. And you can see those were some pictures of the old Safety Town. This I don't think was from our Safety Town, but we used to actually have physical structures as well. You'll see what it looks like now. Quite a bit different, but that's basically what it looked like then.
So I'm going to walk you guys through pretty much what Safety Town looks like and what our camp this year looked like. So I wanted to start with an overview of what a typical day at Safety Town looks like. Our campers arrive around 9 o'clock. Their parents drop them off. They're required to be walked to their classroom by a parent or guardian. And we have faces, carpoolists know everybody that comes in the building. Around 9 to 9:30, the teachers will lead their class activities. Sometimes this is playtime to get those criers to stop crying. Sometimes it's a craft. Sometimes it's just talking to the kids about what the presenters will be that day. And then between 9:30 and 11, we have our presenter programs. Each of our sessions typically last about 30 minutes. So our classes will go hear the presenter and then move on to their next. We typically have 2 or 3 a day, sometimes 4. Those are our crazy days. At the same time as the presenter programs, those who are not in a specific program will be doing their playground and bike time. So like Jane said, we have a nice grassy area and a whole playground equipment for the kids to run and explore on, because playground safety is just as important as crossing the street and learning from the policemen. And we also have a good supply of bikes that the kids get to ride around. They learn how to put their helmets on right, fit them correctly, and they explore for the rest of the day. Then after the presenters are gone, around 11 to 12 are still the teacher-led activities. Most of our teachers will show a short movie, an educational movie. Lots of them are Elmo or things like that that show how to be safe. And then all of our kids get a snack, water, make sure they're hydrated and fed well, because we know how kids can be when they're hungry. And then around 12 o'clock, our campers leave. Their parents are again required to go to their classroom. They'll typically wait outside for their teacher to let them out, and then they just go and have a good rest of the day. So then between 12 and 12:30 is our teacher prep time. That's when our teachers will prepare their class for the next day. And please feel free to visit us. We love when you guys come and see what's going on. You can come anytime at any of these times, and I'm sure we'll be able to show you something. So this is a long list of our programs that we have each year. I'm not going to bore you by reading all of them. You can see them for yourself, but just in general, we have like our first responders, the firefighters come every year. That is probably the highlight of the program for a lot of kiddos. We have the police department, the ambulance. We have a few activities that are just for our oldest class, like first aid. We talk about Adams Electric comes in and talks about how to be safe around power lines. And the internet safety is a new addition to our program this year. And the presenter that came, he was fantastic. So that did start as just a program for our oldest kids, but I think it'll be moving to all of our classrooms. We also have all of our teacher-led programs. So that's the playground, bike safety. They'll do crossing the street when they're outside, stranger danger, and our teachers also touch on gun safety. Our second session typically falls around the 4th of July, so they'll also do holiday safety, how to stay safe around fireworks and stuff like that. But these are just a few pictures. When the firefighters come in, they put their turnout suit on, then the kids get to go explore the fire engines. They get to walk through. They really love it. It's a fun day. And then just one of our little kiddos practicing how to call 911. So here's a few pictures. A lot of these are our first responders. We have the EMS team, the firefighters. Down in the left, we have the K9. Officer Prince came and visited us this year. Our 6 and 7 class, when they meet the firefighters, they get to spray the big hose, which the parents hear about often. And we hear the next day, my kid just wouldn't stop talking about the hose. So that's definitely a big moment for them. This is also some of our other presenters. We have Digger the dog comes with Columbia Gas. That's also a big hit for the kids. We talk about good touch, bad touch. The Tooth Fairy comes. This year we had a new program from Wellspan. They taught the kids how to do first aid. So they were learning how to wrap their arms, and a lot of them walked around all day with their arms wrapped, and the parents came in and said, what happened? They said, it's just fake, but it's okay. And then just a few more pictures. Lifeguard Patty comes and visits us. We have some pet safety, school bus safety. The 6 and 7 class gets to take a ride on the school bus, so they're prepared for when they go to school. But yeah, just a lot of fun programs. So for our 2024 camp, session 1, we had 74 campers total. So we had 22 in our red class, which is 3 to 4 years old. Our yellow class is 4 to 5 years old, and we had 25. And our green class was our biggest class, 5 to 7 years old, with 27 campers. As for our staff, Jane and I were both there. We had 3 teachers. So we had 3 classrooms, 3 assistant teachers, 1 aide, and 3 volunteers. Session 2 was a little lighter. We only had 37 campers, but our red class had 8, yellow had 14, and green class had 15 campers. Our staff looked a little different for session 2. It was Jane and I. Then we had a co-teaching classroom. So we had 4 teachers, 2 assistant teachers, 1 aide, and 3 volunteers. We're hoping to continue improving and increasing our registration and our attendance after COVID-19. It really did take a hit. And there are some things I think we can definitely incorporate into next year to help boost that number. So this is just a picture of our wonderful staff. We have to give them a shout out because a lot of them have been here for decades. I think one of our teachers has been here 30, 35 years teaching at Safety Town. So they're very dedicated, very loyal to the program. Our red class, we had Kathy King and Catalina. They both were certified teachers. Yellow class, we had Megan and Victoria, and then Megan and Brooklyn. And green class, we had Colton and Brooklyn, and then Jen and Colton. And our aide was Karen Holland. She was fantastic. She took care of any boo-boos that happened. She made sure that all the kids were feeling safe. Any criers that we had, she made sure to take care of them as well. So she was fantastic. So this year I did something different. And at the end of camp, I sent out a feedback form to parents just to kind of get an insight into what they think could be improved with the program. And they were welcome to share a little tidbit about what they thought of the program, how their kids experienced it. And these were just some of the quotes that we got. I won't read them entirely. I'll let you just take a look at them. But overall, the kids had a great time. The parents said that the lessons that they learned were invaluable. A lot of parents said they plan on bringing their children back next year and that they had a great experience with Safety Town. So yeah, I was very happy reading some of these. It's a good feeling. So I just want to talk about some of my looking ahead, what I would like to do with the program. So based on parent feedback, the 3 things that I kept seeing in all of the responses are that we need to improve our advertising, we need to have an online registration option, and they want communication the week prior to the camp. So hopefully we can maybe get ourselves in some newspapers, maybe get a little TV segment somewhere. If you guys know anybody, please send them my way. I'd also like to, one of my long-term goals is to build our social media presence. So I'll definitely be advertising on there as the months before are leading up. Online registration option. I think a lot of parents right now, what we have them do is print the registration and mail it or send it to somebody. Obviously in this day and age, it's important to have those electronic resources available. So I think we'll definitely be incorporating that. Some things I'd like to add to the program. I'd love to have a mental health presenter come and talk with our kiddos because mental health is mental safety. That's all as important as physical safety is. So I think that's really important. We'd like to bring Glitterbug back, which Glitterbug is basically, they'll bring in this, you probably could speak to it better than I can, but they bring in this whole kit and the kids get to kind of get their hands dirty, see what it has. And there's a LED UV light and the kids get to see what the germs are on their hands. And then they learn how to properly wash them, get everything clean and situated. But that's a big hit. The kids love it. So hopefully we can bring it back. And also from parent feedback, and something that I had already wanted to do was an end of camp graduation ceremony. This was something that used to be in place eternities ago. And ever since I've been around, we haven't done it, but a lot of parents have been coming in and asking if we do some graduation, if we do some end of year ceremony for the kiddos. So typically what that'll look like is all the kids will gather in a big hall, typically the gym, and the parents will come, they'll watch, the kids will perform their songs or show their crafts, stuff like that, and they all get a graduation diploma type thing for the end of the camp. So that's definitely a big request from parents, and that's definitely something I'd like to see back implemented. Long-term goals, I'd like to increase our registration, obviously. Hopefully improving our advertising can help do that. And I think word of mouth is definitely really important. That's how a lot of people are hearing about it nowadays. I definitely would like to also recruit more volunteers. Back in the day when I was volunteering, we had probably 20 volunteers, and now you can see we only have 3. That's not for a lack of trying. It's just hard to find people that want to come out. So we're going to try to hopefully next year increase that number because it definitely helps having as many sets of hands as you can. And then, as I said, build social media presence. So how you can help if you're interested in helping us. We are always looking for donations. We do a craft every day in every classroom. So if there's any craft materials here that you would like to donate, that would be greatly appreciated. We also, obviously kids are a little messy, so hand sanitizer is really important at Safety Town. Cleaning supplies, stuff like that. Bigger items, we are looking for tools or a toolbox, and we are always looking for gently used bikes. Our bike supply has dwindled a little bit over the years because we do buy most of them secondhand or they're donated. So we always are looking for normal bikes, bikes with training wheels, or big wheels. That's awesome. You can also give monetary donations to purchase allergy-friendly snacks for our kiddos or to just refresh any supplies we need year from year. Any questions? Yes.
He was asking if Safety Town was just a local organization or larger. Safety Town itself was a national organization. There was a woman in Ohio. Her name was Dorothy Chlad. And it was a nationwide program conducted all over the US. I think heavily more on the East Coast, but definitely all over the US. There was a time way back, if you remember Bill Cosby, if you're that old, he was actually a national spokesperson for Safety Town for a while in the 70s. So yeah, nationwide.
Anybody else? Yep, so our registration costs, we have an early registration where parents can get a discount for if they register early, but typically it's about $125 per student. Yep, so a lot of, for their 2-week session. A lot of our parents, that was one thing they sent on feedback that it was very affordable for all of them. So they really appreciated the cost of the program. Anything else? Yes. Yeah, so we are in contact with a lot of the preschools in the county. We send out our applications and flyers through that. Sometimes if you follow us on Facebook, we post a lot the months leading up. That's how a lot of people are finding out nowadays. But that's, I think, pretty much the extent of how we advertise, which is why I'd really like to improve. School newsletters. Yes, we also have an Instagram now. It's slowly building, but we're getting there. So yeah, that's pretty much it. But I would like to increase our advertisement for sure for next year. Yes.
How about regional exposure? Families living in Harrisburg, Lancaster area, are there other alternatives or is your really different?
You probably could answer better to this, but I believe there used to be a few programs around the area, and now I think we might be one of the only ones standing at this point.
Itself, nationwide, ended 10 years ago. We kept the program going and growing locally, but as far as the national safety count, that is no more.
Oh.
Anybody else?
Other questions? I have
Okay.
striped t-shirts.
I would love to. So all of our kids get a t-shirt with their registration. It's included in the cost. This is our new design this year. We wear them. Oh, yes. Thank you. Please demonstrate. Yep. That's beautiful. We typically, so every day we have a color that we suggest the students wear. So when it's fire truck day, they wear red. When it's police day, they wear blue. Tooth fairy, they wear pink. And you just see a bunch of little heads with the same color shirt walking around the building. And then typically on the last day of each session, we wear our Safety Town shirts. So it's a fun little tradition for us. It's a great way to make everybody feel like it's a little community, a little family. And yeah, I think everybody liked the t-shirts this year. Good, but everybody gets a different color every year. So we'll see what next year brings. Yeah. Yes. That's okay. We do not have anything in place at this point, but that would be something to consider in the future for sure. Yeah.
Joanne?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, we did.
Adams Electric stepped up and did a $500 sponsorship, and WellSpan came through and did a $1,000 sponsorship this year. And in the past, we've reached out to a number of different businesses to see if they'd be willing to sponsor. We've had a few. We were grateful that we got this for this year, which certainly helps to offset some of the expense of running things. So it's great to have those sponsors.
Of course, we thank all the community for the donation. Yeah, thank you for that.
So I'll kind of, and please stay up here. So just kind of like to give some kind of an idea on our part versus these two ladies and their part. I look at it as our club, and I don't want to say we don't really do a lot, but if you look at all the stuff that they just shared up there, that is all here. Like they coordinate all of that, to get the personnel coming in, doing all the presentations, lining up the teachers, getting the volunteers, getting the aides, that all happens here. Our part really is, yeah, we might help out with getting some snacks. We help to store the items that they use. We get them to the facility, we take them back. We help a little bit with registration, but for the most part, this is it. This is kind of what makes it all function and operate. So I think we have to owe these two, not just these two, but the people that have even been serving for 30 years in teaching. They obviously have some commitment and dedication to this program. So I think we have to give them a big round of applause for what they do. So please join me in doing that. Ladies, we typically will have our presenters sign a book, and we actually then donate this to the Logos Academy. So I'm going to have you sign this afterwards. And at this time, Lydia, I'm going to say thank you. You can take a seat. And 42 years, seriously?
Which is amazing that I'm only 39.
I know. I don't know how you can reverse that. We want to just take a minute and thank Jane for her years of service. Like I said at the beginning, this is Jane's last year as serving as coordinator. And again, just as I mentioned, she really has been the one that's kind of pulled this whole thing off year after year. We work together as far as talking about how we're going to promote the program and how we get that information out. But really, Jane's been the one that's really kind of put everything together and done a terrific job over the last 42 years. So at this point, I'm going to, Chris, if you want to just kind of say a few things.
Okay. So Jane, we think 42 years of service is a really big deal. So York East has decided to honor your commitment and your volunteerism by making you a Paul Harris Fellow, which is a really big deal to a Rotary person. So, and Lydia, you just have 41 more years to wait. Okay.
So Jean, and just to expand upon that, our members are all kind of familiar with what a Paul Harris is, but what you may not realize, Paul Harris is actually the founder of Rotary. And we are asked as Rotarians to make contributions to our Rotary Foundation. And when you do that and you receive $1,000 that's been contributed to the Rotary Foundation, you receive a Paul Harris Fellow. So we are honoring you by making you a Paul Harris Fellow. And again, want to thank you for all of your years of service. In addition to that, we actually just kind of came up with a little certificate to give to Jean. We didn't really know how many years she's been keeping it a secret on how many years she's actually been doing this. So we just really wanted to say that this certificate is awarded in recognition of your valuable contribution, engagement, and commitment to the Safety Town program for young children. And obviously she has had a huge impact on many kids throughout those 42 years. So we want to present you with this as well. Are you good? Anything else that you want to add? Okay.
Thank you all. It was not an easy decision to make, but it was time and the opportunity was right with Lydia.
Yeah, very good. Once again, let's give her a big round of applause. Does anyone have anything else for the good of the cause? If not, as mentioned, next week we are honored to have Friedel giving our presentation. We will be starting a little bit early. And just as a reminder for anybody that's on the Safety Town Committee, we are going to meet with Jane and Lydia here afterwards just to kind of do a follow-up on how things went this year. So if you can stick around, that would be great. If there's nothing else, everybody have a great week.
Yeah, I think he does. He does. He goes to YouTube, so he gets it off of YouTube.